Yo, what's up, guys? So this one is I'm probably gonna like end my channel, but let me explain why. But also in here, I'm gonna give I'm gonna tell my two best stories, I think. And see, that's one thing about doing videos is like I know that give me value. I will. I'll tell you two stories in 1 minute that I think are helpful. I think. But let me first of all say like why I think it's probably about time for me to like end this because I started my channel. I call it a channel, and it's like I don't even look at it like that. I don't. I just look at it as like I started. Let me have a seat. Actually, I started this thing where it was just meant for me to like talk about shit, and it was always meant to end at some point. Like as soon as I started doing videos, I'm like, this is gonna end at some point because I'm gonna run out of shit to say, and I started because it was over that little thing that happened called a pandemic, and so it was just meant to be like let me just say shit, and from the perspective of I felt like I have a unique story, and it's pretty rare for a writer. I got to call myself a writer to make that point, and I know I'm not. Whatever, but even though I was signed at some big places, but I looked at it as if I'm just doing these videos for my friends. You know, it really all started from Clubhouse, which inspired me to. Let me stand up now because I don't like sitting down. It really all started from Clubhouse. Meeting people on there, and then just being like, you know what, like let me do some videos, just so that if they want to go watch them, and like watch them at your leisure, and then when we talk, maybe you bring up something that I said, and we can talk about it, shit, and go into it. People who've done phone calls with me know we go long, man. Like, right? Like some of my calls I've done with you guys have been like 4 or 5 hours. Where we're just like just talking about shit. Just trying to figure shit out because the industry is so fucking difficult. You know who you are. But it was always meant to like end at some point. And my point is, I feel like I've sort of done like the full circle where at this point I have nothing new to add. So I guess I'm kind of done. I could always keep going. Keep talking about shit, but I don't know that I'm adding anything of value to the conversation at this point. So yeah, so it was always meant to end at some point, and why? Not excuse me, not to be like overly dramatic or whatever, but I knew I'm gonna start a different channel about what about interior design. So I don't really want that out there, like me ranting and raving about how shitty the industry is. So I always knew, like, when I started doing these videos, I always knew that at some point I'm gonna fucking delete this whole channel. And if anything helped you in there, cool, man. And you know, I hope you fucking make it, and I hope you live your dream and get to that point where you're on stage, man. And I'm like, I remember, you know, when you used to say some shit in my videos, or you know, in the comment sections, or whatever, and I'm cheering you on, you know. But I don't want to jump the shark, you know, and I feel like maybe I already have. That's the point. So everything has to come to an end at some point, I think. But so that's why it's not that I'm like mad or upset or my skin is thin or anything like that. It's just I don't want to jump the shark, and I feel like I might have already. But let me tell you my two best stories. I think I'm 6 minutes in, like I haven't said anything yet. See, that's why doing videos is fucking hard, because especially with no script, is, you know, for me I just ramble. But here's a story, and I think you'll see like why I think it's one of my best stories of, you know. And that's another thing is I knew this is I'm not going to be a YouTube star, like talking about like how shitty the industry is. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that, like bad news. And like, but I tried to like offer solutions, you know. And here's another thing is I know I'm wrong about a lot of stuff that I talk about. Let me say that too, is before I get into the story, is I don't feel like let me impart why I'm so smart about this shit. No, like it's about, let me just tell stories, and maybe you can cherry pick something in there of what not to do. You know, that's what it's about. Because obviously, if I knew if I knew what I was talking about, then I'd be a superstar, and I'm not. So obviously, even though I have that's the other thing. Like, even though I have a very unique story, it's very uncommon to be signed as a writer at one of the biggest agencies in the world, and also your wife at the time works there as an agent. So you're like, let me go see my agents, and then let me go visit my wife, you know, in the same building. In a, you know, when you look at CA, you're like, what the fuck? Like, I probably have PTSD from that shit. Did you see that video? Uh, I just got my new piece today, by the way. I had to wait, you know, 10 days, whatever. But here's what I would say is no, I don't think I know everything about the industry. It's like the more you learn, the more you feel like, I don't know how this fucking industry works. You know, it's like the William Goldman, nobody knows anything. And I guarantee you, if Sherry was standing next to me right now, if I said, hey, do you know how the industry works? I guarantee you she'd be like, no idea. What? Why? Why do I guarantee that? Because she said that to me. After Gone Girl, after Devil Wears Prada, after Gone Girl, after Wild, and whatever else she sold. See, I'm not making it about me, okay? She said to me, like, sort of, I thought eventually I would have some sense of how this industry works, but I don't. And see, here's another thing, which is why I know that that my channel would never pick up steam, because I'm surprised I even have 300 something people. I want to give every single person thank you for watching my shit, and hopefully some of this helps you in some way. I'm surprised I even have 300 people plus who bothered to follow me. You know what I mean? Because my conversations are not that fun. It's not me like throwing glitter up in the air and like confetti and like, yay, we're all gonna win. Like, you get a car, you get a car, it's not that. My channel's kind of a bummer, bro. you know. But I do want to say, I'll get to the story in 1 second. 11-minute opening. Sorry. But this might be my last video, so I might go a little long on this one. Did I say that already? I want to make that clear. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not upset. It's not that. It's that I feel like I kind of like I've already said that. So anyway, what else was I gonna say? See, I always interrupt myself, and then I lose a fucking better point than I just made. What was I gonna say? Hopefully, I won't forget this part. I want to mention like a comment I made about Chris McQuarrie. I don't want to forget that part. Not that I know anything about the industry, because I really don't. Let me go here. So, to me, this is one of my best stories. It's one of my best stories because if you hear it play out and you think about it, like, let me just tell it. So, Sherry and I were at Design Within Reach. Do you know what that is? It's a furniture store, and so we're in there and we're buying a lamp, and it's like $1,000 lamp, and the girl who was helping us was like somehow figured out that Sherry was an agent, and she's like, you work at CA? And Sherry's like caught off guard, like, yeah. And she's like, the girl's like, oh, cool. I'm a writer. Let me get my card. I'll send you a screenplay. And the point of this is I'm watching a writer, hopeful, fuck up in real time. So that's what she said. Oh, let me get my card. I'll send you one of my screenplays. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I look at Sherry, and Sherry's like, kind of like caught off guard, like, I know what's in her brain, I've known her since she's 21. I see it. Her look is like, that's not how the fuck this works. She's not gonna be. She's nicer than me, right? So, but I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, is this chick like trying to demand a read? Like, you owe me a read? Like that's how she thinks agents work? Like, you just tell them, read my shit? Like, we were both caught off guard. Like, what the fuck? Like, Matrix. Like, what the fuck? Like, miss me with that. So. So so girl gives her card, and but I'm like, I kind of step back and I go like this, like, a little bit, not that much, like, whoa, like, do you see my look on my face? Like, do you see how I cock my head like that? That's body language, meaning like, what the fuck is this? Do you see Sherry's face? Like, what the fuck? Like, so that means you're doing this wrong. And here's the point there. This probably is your only chance ever to be face to face with an agent and be pitching. It's not something that's going to happen every day. That's what she thinks. I'm young, and like I'm just, I just moved here like 6 months ago, and this kind of shit. Like, this shit is not going to happen every day for you. So try to convert this. Look at me, like, see I'm like this? What the fuck? Like, see that look on my face? That means like redo all that. Scourge. Like, let's rewind, redo that. Because you're not gonna get a read. Okay? And here's the thing. I would bet that girl thinks now I need to hurry up. I would bet today that that girl is still either she gave up and moved back home, or maybe she's like, you know what, fuck the industry, it's too hard, or she's still in the what do you call it, the contest circuit, and realizes now, like, fucking like 13, 14 years later, like, I blew such a big opportunity right there. And maybe, here's my point there, and maybe if I would have, because, obviously, Sherry and I could tell this chick is green as fuck, and maybe if I knew enough, I could have converted. Let me interrupt myself because I don't want to forget this point, and I'll get back to that story. Here's one thing is, Sherry and I broke in 1991. So 2 years before that, it's the 80s. That's how fucking long ago. 4 years ago? That's how fucking long ago. There was no internet back then. And that goes into my point here too, is nowadays writers they can ask like, there's literally people that will do like, hey, ask me anything, MA, like, ask me anything. There's literally people that will try to help people, and that's why I started my channel, to not ask me anything, but like, I'll just tell stories, and maybe something in there like will help you be like, I don't want to fuck up like that, so I'm gonna do the opposite. But it's like any question you could possibly wonder. I wonder, like, like anything you could ever wonder about the industry. Someone out there will tell you. Just put on, like, go online, ask it. Like, someone will fucking answer a question. Understand that back then, there was not even the internet. Okay, like, we didn't know a fucking thing. We just learned by failing. Okay, I won't do that again. So I want to make that point. But going back to the story, I'm saying a lot of writers are very sort of, in my opinion, I know it's a rude thing to say, but are very fucking spoiled at this point. And it kind of feels like some writers are like, everybody owes me something. And it's like, no, they don't. No one owes you a fucking thing. That's the number one thing I would say about the industry. Nobody owes you shit. Understand that, and try to fucking make it. you know. Let me go here, and then I'll get back to the story. One more thing, because I just thought of IMDb. Here's a point I've never made is because I know people have like looked at my IMDb and have back channeled me like you're not shit, bro. Like you're a fucking loser. I looked at your IMDb, it's bullshit. I agree, dude. 100%, dude. However, what would I rather have? Would I rather have a fucking pool and a fucking Range Rover, you know? And I mean, pretty nice shit, you know? A couple of houses and shit. Would I rather have that, or would I rather have like a credit, like, yay, here's his name, you know? I don't really give a fuck about credits unless it can pay me money. And that's a point I've never made, is I've made more money off of being uncredited. You know, that's why, like, I never look up anybody's IMDb because I don't think it fucking matters. You know, what's your lifestyle, bro? You know, that's all I give a fuck about. Anyway, back to this story is, and I've been very lucky in that regard. You know, I will say, like, I don't really, like, you know, I would say, yeah, absolutely, I'm a failure in the industry, but somehow, some way, like, I've been able to pull off a pretty decent life, you know. So, you know, hey man, I'm thankful for that. But getting back to that story, so how she fucked up is I would have pulled her aside and said, let's have a little powwow real quick, okay? I can tell you're super green, you're super young. We're going back to Design Within Reach, to this girl, if you forgot where I was at. You're super young, you're super green. How you do this is this might be your only fucking chance. So you ask for her card to get it, and then immediately when you figure out that she's an agent, or whomever you run into, because you know it's almost fucking impossible to get an agent to read you. It is, because why would they, you know? And people are like, I thought that's what they do. Not really. What they do, they sell shit. That's kind of mainly all they care about. But some of them are give a fuck about the art. You know, some of them do not. Some of them would be like, I don't care what I sell. I wouldn't give a fuck. I was selling cars. I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to be rich, bro. I don't give a fuck about movies, you know. Some agents are like that. Sherry wasn't. She gave a fuck about the art, you know. But so what that girl should have done, immediately go to your boss and say, please, I have such a big favor. Here, favors again. I have a favor to ask. I maybe have the chance to change my life and become a superstar. Can we give them like a discount, like the 20%? Can I give them my discount or your discount or whatever on this lamp? Say 20%, 30%. So I'm doing something, first of all, to, I mean, let's be honest, man, like, to make this agent want to fucking read me. Oh, you gave me, I got $200 off the lamp, or $300 or whatever. Like, yeah, I'll take a look at your shit, you know? My reads cost more than that, generally speaking, but, you know, yeah, fuck it, I'll give you a read. You know, she didn't think of that. And that might have cost her, you know, because the fact of the matter is Sherry has sold shit for a lot. I'm not gonna put myself in there, okay? Sold shit for a lot of money, millions, you know, and you know, people have come away from that shit like, that changed my life. You know, like what are we talking? Maybe she fucked up on. Maybe she could have read that, sold it. You know, you make a, you know, this many million against that many million. It gets made. You get all of that money, and then you get bonuses, all this kind of shit. Because the studio's like, yay, it was a big giant hit, so let's give you more money. And then you know, you marry a fucking like celebrity, and then everybody's taking your picture, and everybody's like, why are you so amazing? And you're like, I just am, you know, this kind of shit. And then you get to a house with a fucking infinity pool, you know, you're on the top of the hill, like, oh fuck, man, like what the fuck? Like, and you get your fucking dope ass car. Oh cool, let's pay cash for that, boom. Maybe she fucked that all up. Maybe that would have been her life. But in that moment, she just was so green that she just fucked it all up. And, you know, and after that, after we left, so Sherry had the card, right? She gives her the card, we leave, and we walk out the door, and Sherry said, like, you know, we walk out the door, and Sherry, first thing she says to me is like, do you think I should read it? I said, absolutely not. Let me see your card. Fuck that. Nope. See, and I already know your thought right here, right? What a dick move, bro. Let me show you why it's not. Let me show you why you like that. Because I was trying to clear her out of the way so you get a read. So you do. See? You like that better, right? That scenario? Because then I'll read your shit, then, you know, and vet it and be like, Sherry, you should take a look at this. And then maybe you become a fucking superstar. Who knows? You know what I mean? Don't you like that story better than someone being super green? Because most people who watch my channel are not super green. You know, they would know. You guys would know. I would never, you know, do that with an agent, and I would be on my toes, you know. And that's another thing I want to say in that scenario is, like, let's say an agent agrees to read you. Let's say in that scenario that Sherry agrees to read her, and she does. So in that scenario, what she should have done is she should have got Sherry's card and emailed her and saved her, you know, money on the lamp, and then, you know, give us a discount, and then email her immediately and say, great meeting you, real quick. Great meeting you. Thank you for the read. Please see script attached. Let me know if I can help you with any more furniture purchases. Da da da. You get it? Very quick email. What's missing from that email? The log line, the typical shit that writers will do, just cannot shut the fuck up. They already agreed to fucking read you. Don't say anything else, dude. Why would you do that? I've seen writers fuck up that way, where if they agreed to read you, don't say anything about the script, in my opinion. And I know various agents would disagree with me, and I know why. Here's why. Here's why agents and managers would disagree with me about this, and showrunners and fucking everyone. Why would they disagree with me? Because I'm saying, because they want to know why they should pass, why they don't have to fucking read it. They want to know that in one sentence, which is your log line. Cool. Oh, it's about that? That I will not read. Cool, you just saved me a bunch of time. Okay? Like, that's why they'll disagree with me. Jason's wrong about that. I know, because they don't want to read you. Okay? So that's why they don't agree with me. So boom, there you go. There's a great way to like fucking blow possibly your one fucking shot. I need to hurry up. Blow your one shot. And another thing is to me these are probably my best two stories, I think, because everybody wants to know, how do I break in? Here's another one of my best stories, I would say, is helpful. Shit not to do, in my opinion. So there was so I was at a meetup. I went to like some writer meetup, and let me have a sip of beer real quick, because my throat, like, it's a lot of talking. Yummy, Pliny. The elder. So anyway, I was at a meetup, and there was, whatever. There's writers there and this kind of shit, and there was this person, like, just chattering away, and like, like the loudest person in the room, just, let me tell you why I'm so amazing, this kind of shit. And I'm like, this script is like perfect for, blah blah blah, whomever, and I'm out with it. I have interest, this type of person. I have interest from so and so. It's like, no, you don't. Come on. And they're like, I and I'm I'm looking for an agent in this kind of, talk. And I'm like, let's say they and they're just talking about plot, no one cares about plot, bro. If it gets made, then yeah, sure, we'll watch it. Oh, cool. Oh, there's the plot. Cool. Like, but in the beginning, no one cares. Like, just tell me what it is real quick, So if they were to describe their shit like it's kind of, it's kind of Gone Girl meets like Heathers, or Gone Girl meets Mean Girls, like, chick shit, like dark fucked up shit. Here's my point. They didn't fucking bother to turn to me or anyone else and be like, what about you guys? Like, what's your story? Oh, who, me? Like, oh, who, me? Like, I'm married to a fucking CAA agent. I know exactly what would happen from that point. They'd be like, oh, right on. Like, oh shit, oh, let me fucking use you. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even have said that, because the way they're behaving. They asked me like, oh, what's your story? Oh, I'm just, I'm just loser writer, like, that's it, like, kind of the end. I wouldn't even fucking told them I'm rep by CA. Why? For what? Because I know they'd be like, oh, no shit, like, can you get me in? Like, oh, you're signed there, and your wife's an agent there? Oh, let me fucking use you. Fuck off, Or everybody else, like, what is, like, that writer might be married to an executive who's, big shot over here, or they might be married to a manager, they might be married to a fucking or different agent, CAWME, hey man, like, or whatever, they might be married to a fucking big shot lawyer or whatever. And people like that don't even bother to get to know anybody. It's like, you're not networking, dude. That's my point there. That's my point with that story. You're not networking. You're just talking, and you're losing opportunities because you're not getting to know anybody. You're just like just bragging. Cool. You just lost an opportunity. You know. Where's that girl? The other story I told. Where's she at today in her her Hollywood career? Where is that person that I just told that story about? Where are they in their Hollywood career? I guarantee you that both of them are, like I said, either moved on and gave up, or they're stuck in the fucking hamster wheel of the contest shit, and they've been in it for 15 fucking years trying to break in. So where I'm at, so I'm kind of done there. Oh no, I'm not, because I wanted to mention Chris McQuarrie. I wanted to say this about that. I made this post. I said basically, like, he got ran off, from a writer Twitter, and is like, nah, like, and if you notice this, there's a lot of writers, big writers and big directors and so forth, that will not engage with. They might mention, like, oh, I have this project going, or I'm going out with this thing, or whatever. Me and the other big person, we're doing this thing, but will not engage necessarily with, let's call it the lower folks, the brand new people. You know what I mean? Why? Because they're just like, I don't have time for that. Let me go to Chris McQuarrie. I think the reason I tell this story is because I think it, like, showcases this point, like, really well. I think Jim said, shout out Jim if you happen to see this. I think he said, I think he said that on script notes, possibly, maybe. I forget where I heard him say this, but so his point was that, I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly word for word what he said, but basically he was saying, if I show up, like, on your set, or if I pull you aside into a meeting, that's not a good thing for you, man. You've done the you've done the, like, oh, I directed, like, shorts, I moved on to indie now, and one of those cracked off, and now the studio world is wants me to direct some shit, and you're, like, new in the studio world as a director, and you're spending a lot of money, and his point was, like, if you see me there, like, that's not good, brother. Because I'm there because the fucking studio is not happy with what you're doing, okay? And they're about to fucking yank you. So, and he said, basically, like, he's tried to help directors, and they wouldn't listen. I'm not a director. Maybe I'll direct something someday. I don't fucking know. But if Chris McQuarrie showed up on my set, I'd be like, I'm not in a good place. Clearly, like, action, I see Chris McQuarrie, I'd be like, cut. Everybody shut the fuck up. Like, what's up? Hold on. Why am I in trouble? Let's go over here and talk real quick. Why the fuck am I in trouble? Why are they trying to, like, get rid of me? That's the first thing I would fucking think. I want to be like, oh, Chris McQuarrie's pulling me aside. Fuck off. I wouldn't think that. I'd be like, yeah, I'm all ears. What should I do? Like, thank you so much. What should I do? And I would do that. A version of it, like, he probably knows what the fuck he's talking about, because he starts a movie and doesn't even know what the fucking ending is. Just Tom Cruise said, let's go, dude. Let's start shooting, dude. If Tom Cruise says that, let's start shooting, dude, like, then you're just gonna be like, well, okay, whatever. I don't know what the fucking ending is yet, but we'll figure it out. Whatever. So to me, that's that's the best way I can describe that point is, people are definitely trying to help you, and especially when you're dealing with that much money, man. Like, and someone has that much experience. I don't know why. I don't know why a director would not even like consider what he has to say. What the fuck? Whatever. Some people like to burn their fucking careers down. Anyway, I'm done. So anyway, yeah, I think I've kind of said everything I need to say, and let me end with this: is I'm gonna go a little dark here, but not too dark. But I just I started my channel because I felt like I've seen a lot of shit, and why let this, what I've seen, why just hold it in and let it go to waste? Maybe this can help some people. I don't fucking know. And I would have ended my channel sooner, if a certain event didn't happen, and then it was hard for me to talk about the industry because it all it all involves Sherry. But I kind of felt like, I don't want her, sort of legacy to be, just lost. So that's another reason why I tried to help writers. Hey man, try it. Like I'm not doing this for clout. Like, I'm not gonna get famous off this. Like, I'm not gonna make any money off this. So that's it. It's like, it's just like people I've met. I hope they fucking make it. That's it. And I hope they like experience some of this cool shit. There's a lot of bullshit in the industry, of course, but there are some fucking cool moments. So that's it. That's the only reason I did this channel, and I think I'm probably done with it. Maybe. We'll see. Peace, guys. Good luck.